What is up? Tier 6 RUDY is on sale. Now, believe it or not, once upon a time, this was the best, like the best tier 6 tank that was available when it first came out. Of course, nowadays it is not exactly the best, but it is not too bad, to be honest with you. Now, this was an iconic tank because of a TV show. I think it was a Polish TV show, that featured the tank with the tank crew, the RUDY crew, and they had a little dog with it. And it is a fairly cheap tank considering it's a tier 6 tank, and it is a fairly good deal because you get a set of BIA 0 skilled crew. This means a set of crew, 4 crew comes with BIA already built in as 0 skill. Now 0 skill means when you start grinding the skill of this new crew, you will start from 0, but the BIA you get for free, which means you will grind up your 2nd, 3rd and 4th skills just like you would as a 1st, 2nd and 3rd skill, which means it doesn't need as much combat experience to build up the crew skills on this tank. Now, what's good about this tank? You can also change the nation. That means you can be a Polish T-34-85 or you can be a Russian T-34, a Soviet T-34-85, which means, and I don't know about the crew though, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember if the crew automatically becomes a Russian crew or it becomes, it stays as a Polish crew, I'm not sure, but I think, you can switch the crew, when you switch the nation of the tank, the crew also becomes that nation, which means if you decide to make it into a Soviet RUDY, then your crew becomes a Soviet crew, and then you can retrain that crew and put it out into your Object 140 or whatever, or you can maintain it as a Polish crew and use this crew, retrain it and put it into your CS63 or something. That is the huge advantage of this tank if you decide to buy it, because it's low price and because of that set of crew that you can put into better use in other tanks if you decide. Now, this is of course a T-34-85, which there are other T-34-85s in this game like the Tech 3 T-34-85 and of course the now famous T-34-85M. I get spotted here and I'm going to take a couple of shots, but I've already made a couple of shots myself, already done 700 plus damage, but I'm taking a little bit of damage here running away. I should have run away a little bit sooner. Although we are up by 1 tank, we are down by HP, over 1000 HP, not good for our team, but I do manage to make it out alive fairly safely. Lost about half my HP and an ammo rack, but there is a little bit of bushes here right in front of the home base cap, which I will use as as a soft cover, as camo cover, and I will try to snipe the enemy teams here. Now I've got full view range in this tank. That's because I've decided to run optics, rammers and the IRM. Now previously, before equipment 2.0, you couldn't run IRMs in this tank, but I think you could run vertical stabilizers, I'm not too sure. But maybe in equipment 2.0 they decided that T-34-85s were just OP and they removed that ability to run the vertical stabilizers, but you still got IRM, which is about like 50% of vertical stabilizers. Now, in case you do not know, T-34-85s are really powerful tanks in this game in tier 6s. Before the T-34-85M showed up, the RUDY was the first choice. So this tank was like, I don't know what year it came out, 2015 maybe, when it was first introduced, and everybody had to own it. That's why I said this was the best tier 6 tank when it first came out. This was the only choice other than, I can't remember if the Cromwell came before the RUDY or the Cromwell came after the RUDY, but in any case, we went through a period of time where the two best tanks that you had in tier 6s for tier 6 skirmishers and strongholds where you grind a lot of credits, you had to run the Cromwell B or the Polish RUDY, because these were premium tanks. You could, you know, play tier 6 strongholds and earn something like 2 million credits in 2 hours, roughly 1 million an hour pace. That's how good these tanks were, and this was before the T-34-85M. Now of course we're going to compare it to the T-34-85M because that is the top tank for many years now. Ever since the 85M emerged into the live server, it has been the staple. You must have a T-34-85M if you are playing tier 6 strongholds, if you are grinding credits in tier 6s, if you want a stat pad, if you want to, you know, boost your stats or whatever. But the gold standard is T-34-85M, and that's because the rate of fire is slightly better. You reload something like you know, 0.2 seconds quicker than a RUDY. Also the you know, it's just overall a better tank just because it has a little bit more hull armor than the RUDY. RUDY, of course, 45 millimeters of frontal hull armor. The 85M has 75 millimeters of frontal hull armor, slightly better, and the 85M also has slightly better camo values, slightly better camo after you shoot, you know, after you've been discovered or whatever. And so the T-34-85M is just overall a better tank, but the T-34-85M does not come with this set of crew. Remember, I was saying to you, this tank comes with a set of crew that you can use on 2 nations, Russian tanks and Polish tanks. Up to you to decide. What I do is, I think I used the RUDY crew for the CS63 because there are so many Soviet tanks in this game, so many Soviet premium tanks in this game that come with crew, that come with BIA crew. So it is not really a problem for you know, finding replacement crew for your Soviet tanks. To find BIA crew, zero skill BIA crew for your Soviet tanks, it's not really that difficult. But for Polish tanks, you know, this is the only choice available. I'm not sure that you can buy a Poodle, the tier 6 Panther. I'm not sure if the Poodle comes with zero skill BIA crew. I think not. But if you have the RUDY comes with the crew, and that is where the selling point of this tank is. Yes, the RUDY is not that great in 2022. Even if you have the stock Tech 3 T-34-85, that's already performing just as good as the RUDY. If you have a T-34-85M, there would be no reason for you to play the RUDY. But if you are a collector, if you're nostalgic, plus the RUDY is kind of like a pretty cheap tank to own, yeah, it's kind of, the value is in the zero skill BIA crew, which you can swap if you want to. If you want to make them Soviet crew, you can go ahead and do that. The best value to me, I think, is to place it with one of your Polish tanks, which for me it would be the CS63. That's just because the CS63 is a very important tank if you're playing competitive tanks, if you're playing clan wars, if you're playing clan events, if you're playing tournaments. CS63 is one of those tanks that is a necessary staple in your arsenal. It is a tank that is highly sought after by callers, by clans that you know, want to do well in tournaments, competitive game modes. So that is where I would recommend you get the RUDY and the crew. For retrain the crew, you know, grind up your Polish tanks, and then stick your RUDY crew into your CS63 and have your CS63 earning crew skills much quicker than your normal standard crew, just because you got the BIA crew skill for free. But anyway, in this game, basically I just sat back and you know, farmed the damage that my team was spotting for me. I did not go down to the 9-0 line because our heavies on our team were basically stuck on the 1-2 line. It would have been suicidal if I try to play hero and try to take on the 9-0 tank by myself. Kudos to the P43 on our team that took the K0 line, K9 line, hide behind the house, and basically stopped 3-4 tanks from progressing on the 9-0 K line to our side. And because of that, I just managed to sit at the back and farm as much damage as I did. Over 2000 plus damage. I didn't play any games in this tank. I think I played 2 games and I got this result already. It is not as strong as the T3485M, but it can hold its own. It is just as good as a standard T3485, which is already pretty strong. And yeah, if you want this tank, don't get it because of this tank, get it because of the crew. So that is my take for the Rudy. I hope you enjoyed this video and took some useful information. Maybe you'll get this tank because you want an extra set of crew. I don't know. That's not, that's up to you. But that's where the strength of this tank is in the 4-skill BIA crew. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.